Hey guys, this is a review for your test that's on Friday. So this is all of chapter 2. And I'm just going to start with the first thing, which is absolute value. So remember, absolute value looks like this. It has those two long bars and then some kind of a number in between. And what absolute value means is the distance a number is from 0. So how far is -3 from 0? It's 3. And if we had a +5, how far is +5 from 0? 5. All right, so basically it takes any number that's negative and makes it positive, and then positive numbers stay positive. So absolute value is always going to be a positive answer, unless there's a couple of exceptions. So if I have the negative absolute value of something, now the absolute value of -2 is +2, but because of this negative on the front, the negative goes back onto the answer. So be careful in those cases. All right. Next is a little bit of order of operations. Okay, so remember PEMDAS. And you must solve your problems in this order or you're going to get the answer wrong. So for example, you might have 5 times 6 plus 3 times 4 minus 2. So order of operations says that I have to do multiplication or division first before addition and subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do in this problem is the multiplication. So 5 times 6 is 30. And 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm just bringing down that -2 because I haven't used that yet. And now I'm going to solve the addition and subtraction from left to right in order. So 30 plus 12 is 42. Bring down the -2 because we haven't used it yet. And then 42 minus 2 is 40. And of course, if we had parentheses, we would do parentheses first. If we had an exponent, we would do an exponent second. Then multiply and divide, last add and subtract. Okay? Let's keep going. So the next section tells me that a certain variable, we'll say x, is equal to a certain number. Okay? And then I'm going to use that information to plug into some problems and solve. So they might give me a problem like x squared plus 4. So I'm going to plug that 3 in for x. And then I'm going to use order of operations to solve, which says I need to do my exponents first. 3 squared is 9. Bring down the plus 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay? The next thing is writing a phrase as a math problem. So I'm taking a sentence of words and I'm turning it into a math problem. For example, I might have the sum, of a number and 6 squared. So first thing I'm thinking about is this word sum. What does sum mean? Sum means to add. So what am I adding? I'm adding a number and 6. So the sum of a number and 6, and the last part is squared. Now if it's telling me the sum of a number and 6, all of that is going to be squared. Okay, so use parentheses in that case. If it says a number increased, by 25. I'm going to pick any variable for my number because I don't know what the number is, so I have to use a variable. Increased means what? It means add or plus by 25. A number increased by 25. All right. The next section is going to be doing the opposite. So you're going to take a math phrase and turn it into a sentence phrase, a sentence of words. So I might have 3x minus 4, and we'll just go ahead and do squared. So I could say, to write this in words, the difference, because it's subtraction, of 3 times a number and 4 squared. So the difference of 3 times a number and 4, 3x minus 4, all of that squared. In the next section, you're going to be simplifying terms, which is the same as combining like terms. So you might have something like this. Okay, and what I have to do is I have to look for all the terms that are alike or matching and then put them together. So right away I see that I have some x's that go together and I have some y's that go together. So I'm going to do my x's first. 4x plus 3x is 7x. And then my y's. I have a positive 2y and a negative 5y. Signs are different, so I subtract. Don't forget your y. And the answer takes the sign of the bigger number. 5 is bigger and it's negative, so that's why I put a negative on the 3y. And you would stop there because you cannot combine an x and a y. They have different terms. Okay? Let's see. Please remember this. This type of problem involves the distributive property. So you might have a problem like this with an extra variable on the end. The first thing that you have to do is distribute this 3 into the parentheses. So 3 times y is 3y, and 3 times 5 is 15. Bring this down because we haven't used that yet. Now I need to combine like terms. So I see that I have a y here and a y here. 3y plus 3y equals 6y. And then the 15 has no matches, so it stays by itself. All right, and you're going to stop right there because you cannot combine a term that has a y with a term that doesn't have any variables at all. Okay? Make sure you're stopping the video and taking notes if you need to, or letting things sink in, okay? I know I'm moving fast because I'm trying to keep it short for you. So another type of problem where you're just combining like terms involves division. So we've done some plus and minus, we've done some multiplication, let's do some division. So I might have 5m minus 35. And it's all being divided by 5. So remember, when I have something being divided on the bottom, it's like I'm dividing that thing by everything that's on the top. So I have to do 5 divided by 5m, and I have to do 35 divided by 5. I said that other one wrong. It's 5m divided by 5 and 35 divided by 5. So first I'm going to do 5m divided by 5, which equals 1m, or just m. Then I'm going to do the other term, which is a minus 35 divided by 5, which equals a minus 7. Okay, So I am left with m minus 7, and I stop right there because I can't combine those two any farther. Let me do another one of those. So I might have negative 12x plus 24, all divided by a negative 4. All right, so now I'm going to divide that negative 4 by everything that's on top. So negative 12x divided by negative 4 turns positive 3x, and then positive 24 divided by a negative 4, hold on a second, ends up becoming a negative 6. And you'll stop right there. Keep your variable with itself and a number with itself. You can't combine those two any farther. Okay, so now moving on to our exponent rules. Exponent rules. When you are multiplying exponents that have the same base, you add the exponents. Okay? When you are dividing exponents that have the same base, you subtract the exponents. And when you have exponents on exponents, so I might have 5x to the third, all of that squared. So this time we multiply exponents, but remember, this has to go on everything inside my parentheses, not just the variable. So 2 times 5, not 2 times 5, my mistake, it's late and I'm tired. It's 5 squared. 5 squared is 25, and x to the third with another exponent on top of it, I'm multiplying those exponents. So 2 times 3 is 6, which would give me x to the 6th. So 25x to the 6th power. Okay? And the last thing on, second to the last thing, sorry. Negative exponents, remember, if I have something like that, I need to get rid of the negative by putting a 1 on top, move that exponent to the bottom, and the negative goes away. So x to the negative third equals 1 over x to the third. And then 0 exponents. So I could have 562 to the 0 power, and that's going to equal 1. 0 exponents always equal 1. I could have variables. I could have x to the 0 power, and that also equals 1. Now I'm going to tell you the last thing, because I'm running out of time. It's scientific notation. So remember, if I have a large number, I'm going to have a positive exponent on my times 10. If I have a small number, I'm going to have a negative exponent. So I want to take a decimal. This is where it's sitting right now, invisible. And I need to put it here to form a number between 1 and 10. All right, and 9.4 is between 1 and 10. So now I'm going to count how many times my decimal moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive 6 because I had a large number to start with. Last example, if I have 0.0025, remember I still want my decimal to be between, to make a number between 1 and 10. So I'm going to put it right there because 2.5 is between 1 and 10. But this time I have a small number. I started with a decimal, so my times 10 is going to be negative. And how many places did I move? 1, 2, 3. So 2.5 times 10 to the negative third.